Let's talk about how the spirituality was lived in ancient Kemet. Is it like maybe going to the temple on Saturday, on Friday, on Thursday at one time to worship, maybe at the end of the week, or is it something that was done every day, 3 times a day? I want to understand how the ordinary people live with their spirituality. Help us understand that.
It is difficult for us to know those schemas, but we know one thing. We know that the temple were not used for teaching religious matter to people every Sunday or every Friday. Or no, the temple were used for initiating people, and the temple were used for healing purpose. So people went to the temple the temple were the former universities, and they were also hospitals. You see the same schema among the Congo people. The Congo people use the forest as the temple, and they will go there they will go there only to be taught, but it is only the elite that will go there to be taught. They were as university, they were initiatory schools, and other people will go there in order to be healed. So what I mean is this: the temple were used to train the elite. Now, back to the society, those elite have to care for the family, the extended family. They have to teach them higher ethics. They have to teach them the laws of God. So it belongs to them within the family to do this. It was not the matter of someone foreign to the family, from outside the family. No. The teaching of the people was a matter relevant to the high priest of the family. Every family had its priest, its high priest, and the country had also an high priest. That was the spiritual organization of the ancient people.
Thank you so much for that. Now, I want to ask you a question relating to the pyramids. Because we are talking of spirituality, I'm trying to bring the image out better so at least you can see it well. The question I have to ask you relates to the shape of the pyramid. Are they in any way linked to spirituality, or does it have any significance in the Kemet spirituality?
I think that one of the purposes, it is difficult to know for us to know all the purposes for which pyramids were built, but one of them was to show the superior nature of the science of the Egyptian in connection to the science of the other people. The Egyptian knew that after 3,000 years, their civilization will go in a kind of hibernation. They will sleep in order for another civilization, which is a lower one, to appear. And they knew also that after another 3,000 years, their civilization will again awake. We are now at the time when that civilization, the black civilization, had to awake. So the pyramids stands there to show out the superiority of solar science and solar technology. Now, many schema has been devised to try to explain how the pyramid has been built. All of them are failure. This pyramid are there to show that they were built through black science and black technology, which is mostly a mental one. As I spoke about Ibondo, who after operating a surgical intervention made the wound disappear instantly. That was a mental thing. and that it is a mental practice which was known in Africa. Our science, our technology are based on the existence of spirits. And I have demonstrated that we can prove that reality is spiritual, while the white people cannot prove that reality is material. So the pyramid stand for the superiority of our spirituality, our science, and our technology.
But it's a way to ask to really demonstrate the mental aspect of or maybe the building of the pyramid, for example. Somebody were curious, you want to know, you need an explanation. What kind of explanation would be there to satisfy the curiosity of such an individual?
Let me start by these things. When you govern France by being in Paris, and we know that France has a centralized system of government, you need two technologies: a technology of communication and a technology of locomotion. Without those two technologies, you cannot govern France by using a centralized schema. Now, we are told that the Kingdom of Congo was 4 times bigger than France. How can they tell us that though that kingdom, which had a centralized system of government, was governed without a technology of locomotion and without the technology of communication? This is a lie. And when we insist, they say, oh, you were using tom-toms in order to communicate. But that is false. How can I use the tom-tom in order to give this lecture? It is impossible. So the conclusion is that there have been a technology of locomotion, there have been a technology of communication, which was using mainly mental communication. The Black people know that there is a spirit in everything. Every nature of a thing is a spirit. Heaviness, the heaviness of a stone is a spirit. So the priest of ancient Egypt could speak to the spirit of the heaviness of a stone. He could tell to that spirit, please get away of the stone for a moment. And then the stone will be has light, has a leaf of a leaf of a paper, a piece of paper, and he will carry it and arrange it and then say to the spirit of heaviness, come back. That is the way the pyramids were built, not in another way. They use this mental technology. The same technology was used for communication, for locomotion, even for surgery.
Well, to tell you, I fully understand that. I will be lying to myself, but I need a bit of explanation. You need a lot of explanation. Even scientifically speaking, a lot of scientists still cannot explain it, how the pyramid actually were built. It is difficult to explain. I think even the Japanese did try to do a replica of the pyramid. It was a failure. They couldn't do it. So even with the advancement in technology today, yeah, some of them are still difficult to understand. I get what you're saying in the meta part of it, but even that too, we need more of the explanation. Yeah, we need more of the explanation to be able to explain to the people, or maybe we don't really need to understand how it was built. Maybe that is not even important. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud, but it is not as simple as it is as it appears. Yeah. Yes, please.
I think what we need the most is a tool of is a scientific explanation. And now the scientific explanation is what I call the Kemetic cosmological argument. If you can prove that reality is spiritual, then everything is solved. The difficulty we have is that the white people has set us in a cage. The cage is the belief that reality is material. Because if reality is material, then we cannot use the spirit to explain things. But we have proven, thanks to the Kemetic cosmological argument, which is an exact science, that reality is spiritual. And I think that that is what we need. We need a logical proof, and the logical proof is there. All we do have to do now is to use it in order to defend our culture, our technology, our traditional technology.